Luna, and today I'm going to be talking to you of my opinion about the Bible. What?
Your faith.
My faith in the Bible. Like when I say opinion, I mean like faith. Now then, let me begin. The Bible is the Word of God. Now I know for anybody who's watching this, you know, pretty much you all know about the Bible, which is the Word of God. Well, it is true, it is the Word of God, but it's actually more than just the Word of God. It's actually God's love letter from Him to humans. It's also the promise that God gave the man, the humans. That's what the Bible is. It's not only a book that should be read. It's also a letter and an instruction manual. Like for example, like pretend you want to build a bike. You need the instruction manual in order to build the bike. It's the same with the Bible. When you become a Christian, good. Your soul belongs to God. But then you need to learn how to live a Christian life. That's where the Bible comes in. The Bible teaches you how to live. How to live a godly life. It also tells you how to love God, as if you would love yourself. But that's pretty much the hardest part of being a Christian. Most Christians these days, they just say, I love God. And true, they might, but some Christians, they don't have that grip that some people do. Like, for example, take someone from the Bible, John the Baptist. He was passionate for God. His whole life was part of God's plan. He was the messenger that was telling everybody about Jesus. He was the messenger that was letting everyone know that the Messiah had come. And that was 2,000 years ago. But John the Baptist is an excellent example of what a true Christian is. Well, actually, John the Baptist, he lived before, Christianity started. Because he lived while Jesus lived. Let's take another apostle. Let's take an apostle. Paul. Now, Paul, if you know about Paul, before he became a Christian, he hated Jesus. All he wanted to do, if he found someone who believed in God, he would just wipe them off the face of the earth. But then, his redemption. Then, huge light came in while he was riding his horse to Damascus. He was blinded. He heard the voice of Jesus saying, "Why are you persecuting me? Why are you doing this to me?" Paul said, "Who are you?" Jesus said, "I'm Jesus." Didn't give him instruction to go to Damascus. He did. And Ananias came by and cured Paul off his blindness about 3 days later. And then after that, Paul became probably one of the most passionate people for God. Now let me bring it back to the present. Like, a lot of people, a lot of Christians, they don't have that grip that a Christian should have on God. They don't have that, like a metal pole, for example. Pretend there's a metal pole in front of you. Someone tells you to grab it. Grab it, alright? Right? You try to grab it. But sometimes, like, most of the people, their fingers, they're all buttery. They can't take a good hold on it. It keeps slipping off. But the one who tries to love God with all his heart, if he tries to make God the most important thing in his life, his hands are gonna hold on to that pole and will not let go. It'll be glued on. What does it mean to have passionate love? It means to have your whole heart for God. Not 25%, 50%, not even 70%. 100%. How does that work? It's not easy, alright? You have two options. You could be like, oh, I love God. I do. I read the Bible sometimes. I pray sometimes. I even go to church on Sundays. Stuff like that. Or you could be a passionate Christian. You could have a heart of steel for God. Like you could have a love so for God, you just can't stop thinking about Him. And if you can't stop thinking about God, that is one of the best things. That's one of the best things. That's one of the best things that can happen to someone. But that's the hardest part. You need to have your whole mind and heart to God. To be in love with God, you have to know Him, have a relationship with Him. Because in order to love, if you're gonna love someone, you're gonna have to know them first. For example, a love relationship between a man and a woman. If that man is gonna have a relationship with that woman, he has to get to know her first. It's the same with God and man, and humans. If you're gonna learn how to love God with your entire heart and your entire mind, you have to get to know Him. You need to have a relationship with Him. And that's where asking Jesus into your heart comes in. Asking Jesus into your heart is pretty easy. But sometimes people just say it. They don't mean it. Like someone can just say, please come into my heart, But if they don't mean it with their whole heart, if they're just saying that to look good in front of people, it doesn't mean a thing. But if they do it for the approval of God, if they do it for to actually get to know Him, like you would know your father and mother, consider that acceptable. But it doesn't end there. Being a Christian is not a life of ease. It is not a life of, being comfortable. You're gonna have problems. I'm warning you now. A lot of times, when you become a true Christian to God, Satan realizes he's lost you. You don't belong to him anymore. You belong to God. But that doesn't mean he's done playing tricks on you. Sometimes he's gonna use your biggest weakness against you. I'm not lying. That happens to every single Christian. The devil uses their greatest weakness against them. But if that person, if he truly has a heart for God, he's gonna go step up in front of that. He's gonna go step on that. And he's gonna say, who cares what the devil thinks? Who cares what anybody else thinks? If I belong to God, and I know that He is my Father, if I know I have a strong relationship with Him, there's nothing that can break that. It's going to take a lot more than a spiritual pair of scissors to cut that spiritual piece of paper. In fact, if you have a strong grip on Him, nothing can break it. To conclude it, I want to say, hey, to become a Christian, I already said it. It's no fancy ceremony. You don't have to, you don't have to do some special dance or do a special prayer. All you have to do with your whole heart, like you have to mean it. You have to say, Lord, come into my heart. I know I'm a sinner. I know I've messed up hundreds of times. But you can make me a new person. You can make me a new soul. You can make me a furnished temple for you. Thank you for listening.